So, would you explain to me why am I still reading this book? This is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. Trying to learn series. Whatever. Hey, hit the like and subscribe, please. So we are on book 2 of the Chimera series by Sarah Woodbury, Footsteps in Time. And I'm like, what? Wait a second. Okay, so understand that I am not a fantasy book reader. I read murder mysteries, I read vampires, I read paranormal, I read cozy mysteries. So could you tell me how to pronounce some of these names? Uh, I have been reading, uh, I haven't read this one yet, though. I'm gonna, at some point. But, we've been reading these. And, um, even those aren't as bad as this. With the, I'm having trouble. So I'm gonna tell you. So, we've got Ellen over here. We've got David over here. And we've got George over here. Has that for translation? I'm serious. And some of this doesn't make a hill of beans of sense. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I've got other books in my to be read pile. And I was just curious as to what happens next. Because you started. So first of all, if you're gonna do an ebook, you're gonna have this doohickey. You need this doohickey. Whatever the hell it is. Doohickey. It works good. Bunch of blankets in bed. Just put it, and it holds it up. So, anyways, where was I? Oh yes. So in the first book, this chick, Meg, and I keep forgetting she's Meg. Okay, and the yo-yo-ness of the chapters is still happening. I do like that. Every time we have a different point of view, we have a different chapter. I like that. That's like a Patterson thing. There are some authors that switch mid-chapter. I don't like that. I like that each person gets their own POV chapter. I don't like the fact that I feel like a yo-yo. 1 is him, 2 is her, 3 is him, 4 is her, 3, 5, 6, and we keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I feel like a yo-yo. And I'm not getting all the information I want. I want more information. I don't get information. Okay, so where was he? Oh, yes. So we got this chick named Meg. And she is, her and her daughter, she had an abusive husband. Screw that stuff. Get over there. So she's driving down the road. She's going to go get ice cream. And her and Anna drive through this thing. And they go through time. And they end up in 1200. And they meet this guy, Llewellyn, whoever you want to call him. And they stay there a couple years. And then she gets with child. I think she loses the first one. And then she gets in with the second one. Or the daughter. That's the daughter that loses. Whatever. So anyways, she's got Anna. And she's at this place, and she gets up because Anna cried out, and just went to Coke and Anna, and they went into the restroom, privy room, whatever you want to call it, and they disappeared as Anna went into labor, and she appeared. Now she's in Wales. She's way over there in Europe. Right. Well, when she reappears in the 20th century, she's in the United States, in Philadelphia, on her mother's front lawn. Book 2. Fast forward 14 years. David's 14. Anna is 17, something like that. Anna is driving. That took me a few minutes. And they have to go pick up somebody. David offers to go with her. They go, and they're driving down the road, and they end up going back in time themselves, and they end up 14 years later in their father's time period, way back in the 12s, and it's the year and the day that their father is supposed to die. He and the father knows, because Meg told him all those years ago, he's gonna have this woman and she's gonna die in childbirth, but the kid's gonna live and it's gonna be a girl. And she tells him all of this stuff, and she gives him all this information, all this factual information, and he still goes to the meeting knowing that he's supposed to be killed with this thing. He still goes. And then, of course, the kids stop. When the kids come through, they disrupt the meeting and save the father's life. And there's this conversation that doesn't make a hill of beans of sense. And she says, "Do you think we've stumbled upon a Welsh extremist group that prefers the medieval period to the present day? 20 miles from Philadelphia, Brynmore isn't that rural. So how I just can't see it. Maybe we aren't in Philadelphia anymore," Anna says. They have no... Mom is probably worried sick. We're supposed to call at 8. And what is Aunt Elsa going to tell her when we didn't show up? David's trying to look for cell service on his phone. He doesn't have any. Anna doubles over and puts her head in David's chest. Her lungs felt squeezed. She's almost crying. "What are you thinking?" He shook his head. "We could leave right now, follow the trail back to the van. It couldn't be more than a few miles from here." "No, why not? What for?" "I want to climb to the top of the hill we came down and see what's up there. I know the tracks of the van disappeared, but we have to have driven down that hill from somewhere. We couldn't have just appeared out of nowhere." "Couldn't we?" David says. "Do you really think the road home at the top of the hill?" "No more than you do. You're thinking time travel, aren't you? Time travel is possible. Why do you say that?" "Okay, if time travel is possible, why don't we have people in the future stopping by all the time? If time travel is possible all the time itself, has to have already happened. It would need to be one big pre-existing event. That doesn't work for me." "Not for me either. It's pretty arrogant of us to think that 2010 is as far as time has gotten, but these people's lives have already happened, or else how could we have traveled back to relive them?" "So you're saying the same argument would hold for people traveling from 3010 to 2010. To them, we've already lived our lives." "Exactly. Then where are we? Is this real?" "Yes, it's real." "I'm not following you. What if the wall of snow has led us to a parallel universe?" Like, what? What? I just... So, they're in Wales. They're in 1282. They have saved their father's life. The father knows who they are, spontaneously knows. He remembers Anna a little younger. David looks the spitting image of his relatives. But they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it till like chapter 4 or 5. And I'm like, well, all right, come on. And it finally gets spilled out in chapter 4. And I think it's 4 or 5. I have so many different notes, it's not funny. So, then a few more chapters down the road, Anna shows up with a Jewish guy, Aaron. And I thought he was from the future, but he's not. He's from that time. So then Anna shows up, and of course Llewellyn is so excited that his love is back. And they get married, and David gets involved in all these different skirmishes and all these different schemes for power. And they know now that they have changed history. They have literally changed history because their dad didn't die. he was supposed to die, and Edward was supposed to rule for so many years, and England was supposed to take over Wales, etc., etc., etc. So, according to this book, they have changed history. By the end of the book, they have really changed history. Because an event happens at the end of the book, and I'm sitting going, okay. And the book just ends. There's no it just ends. And I'm like, huh? So they're dealing with these skirmishes, and Anna, this guy asks to court Anna, and she ends up marrying this guy, and the guy's name is Math. Go figure. What is it? What? Somebody, why is there a rule? And I think I already said this. Why is there a rule that fantasy authors have to come up? If I had the extra, and I don't, but if I did, I don't want to use my Audible credits, but I would love to hear the narrators for the audiobooks people. So Daffodil and Llewellyn and Gawain, why? Really, why? Really, I don't know. I just don't know. So they make all these different plans and do all these skirmishes, and Anna and Megan and David convince their father that he needs to welcome the Jewish people into Wales because England's going to kick them out in a couple of years. So they're welcoming all these Jewish people and all their trades. They're really good tradespeople. You know, all this, they're bringing all these occupations and commerce and merchantry to Wales. They could use the money. They could use the commerce. They could use the trading stuff. I don't think England understands what they're losing. So maybe 100 years from now, Wales should be according to this fictional story, it'll be good, but oh no, I have no idea. I really don't. It just, I don't know. There's all these little battles, and you have to understand. Yeah, okay. In this time period, David is considered a man because the book spans his 14 to 16. When the book finishes, he's pushing 17, and Anna is pushing like 20, something like that. And Meg and Llewellyn have married publicly. They had this big shindig, although you're told they're told they planned this, but it never really. I was waiting for the Regency-ish of it, and it never came. The Regency-ish never came. Because in a Regency, when someone has a party, they have the carriages pull up, and the people come out, and they do the arteves, and they have the dancing, and the cotillions, and the champagne, and all this kind of stuff, and they have this, and it was like, we're not even, it was like, oh yeah, let's do this, and then we never actually get to this. It's like, well, it happened, and we just go forwards. And Anna and Meg have a similar situation in that they have nothing in common with the ladies of this time period, and they're having a very hard time trying to make friends. And at some point in the story, David gets kidnapped a couple different times. And one of the last times, well, not before the last time, the second to last time. Well, the third to last time. The last time is altering. History altering. But oh man, I didn't print that page out. How could I have not printed that page out? So apparently, and I had to ask some peeps. Why? So David shows his small group of men, look, I know you're suspicious of me. I appeared out of the blue. All of a sudden, I'm his son, and all this stuff is going on. So he takes them and shows them the van. And he actually has them all get in the van, and they go for a short ride. So he goes, look, this is solid proof that I am from the future. He shows them a Honda van. And then later on, he takes his father to the van and lets his father drive unsuccessfully. I'm like, somebody go get some alcohol and put it in the engine. Didn't they say that you could run an engine on, or would that destroy the engine? I forget. Someone needs to go make some oil. Oh no. But it just, there were some parts of this book just does not make a hill of beans of sense. I never really got the full picture. We never got they were gonna get married and then they're married. We discussed going and then we never actually see it. We're never actually in the present. We're always told this is going to happen, and then it happened. We're never actually there. We're never actually on stage for these events. And that's one of the things that's throwing me off in the series. Because we're not actually on stage. We're not actually there to witness this stuff. And they're screwing with history something big time. You know, I've seen authors take liberties. But this guy was supposed to die in 1282 on December 11th. According to... So, literally, him being alive is changing history. And I want to know, well, how is that affected today? Somebody needs to go back home to current times, check the history books and find out what happened, how the world was changed. Because if Wales is its own thing and it's not part of England, what has happened? What happened? What were the results of this situation here? And at the end of the book, they kill Edward. And I'm sitting there going, huh? Edward is supposed to be the king of all of this, and his descendants, all of this, for years. And isn't that William's title now, the Prince of Wales? One of his lower titles, till he becomes king. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I just don't. And I have the worst time with this thing. I really do. I have no idea. If anybody knows how to use this thing, I would appreciate it. But, see, I'm gonna do this. I was reading this and I was like, huh? So like I said, Ellen and David and the other one isn't here. Oh, here, Gifford. So, according to real history, Llewellyn, the great Prince of Wales, had two sons, David and George. Let's call them George or Griffith. And David became prince when his father died in 1240, but then he died himself in 1246. And Griffith died in 44 while attempting to escape the Tower of London, where King Henry had imprisoned him. Then let's give his four sons to split the power in Wales. So we have Owen, Ellen, David, and Rod. Completely mispronounced. 100% mispronounced. Of those four, only Ellen was old enough, determined enough, and free enough to step into his uncle's shoes. By 1282, when the events of Footsteps in Time take place, David has grown from the 8-year-old boy he was in 46 to a 44-year-old man who spent half his life supporting Ellen and half his life fighting him. David grew up in the Tower of London, a close companion to Edward, King Henry's son, the future King of England, only a year apart in age. Their love never wavered, their hate grew between them, and David revolted in 1282 as a product of the two powerful stuff. So, but she's kept Ellen alive, so she's changed history there. So I still want to know what's happened in the future. And I was thinking at the end of the book, something would happen, that they would go to the present, and they didn't. And there was a part in the book where Anna's in labor, and she starts to fade out to go back to 2000 whatever, and David tells Math to hold on to his wife so she doesn't fade out and doesn't go to the future but stays here. And in my other books, I like it in my other books. They go to Stonehenge. One lady's got an object. One lady's got to go through a staircase. One lady's got to go to this place. This is the first book or series where the person not only transcends time, but also jumps continents. 2. All this stuff happens in Wales, and when they do the time jump, they end up in the United States. So that's another one of my big question marks. I'm like, huh? And all this war stuff going on. And then she went and killed Edward? What's up with that? What is up with that? She killed Edward. She killed Edward. He's supposed to rule. His descendants are supposed to rule. So you've changed history. Yeah, I know you're fiction, blah, blah, blah. But usually authors stick with history. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. So anyways, I'm trying to figure this out. So David, when the book ends, and it just ends, Meg, Anna, and David are still in the 1200s in Wales. And the book just ends after they killed Edward. I have no idea what's going to go on. I have no idea what is going to go on. So hey, if you could do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe, and check out Voyager recaps on Fridays or Next Generation recaps Fridays, JD Robb Saturdays. If you want the review, in-depth, D. Louise book series, look up the review. You want the character spoilization, that's the second one. And Unboxing Sundays and Flashback Mondays. And of course, my daily book reviews. Have a good one. I'm so confused. Have a good one.